Yeah, it was a nice evening. We needed the win first and foremost, though, this year's team, and then I think getting win number 500 just allows you to kind of think back into your career and appreciate all the people, all the other coaches I've worked with, different athletic directors and presidents. Our administration has been so supportive of the program, and then of course you get a chance to think about all the great players I've had the good fortune to work with over the years, and I think, in the summer when I have a little more time to reflect back on it, I will. Right now it's kind of eyes forward on Augustana on Friday and working on, getting another win. Obviously, we're trying to dig ourselves out of a little bit of a hole in league play, and I think we can do it. I like the way we're playing, but we've got, work to do ahead of us.
You mentioned just how big that win was on Saturday, first collegiate game in Center Ice Arena, of course, but more importantly, snapping that 6-game skid. What does that do for the confidence of the team going forward?
Yeah, well, we played pretty darn good hockey in that time period when we weren't winning, and put ourselves in position to win a number of those games, but found ways not to. So, what we need to do now is find ways to convert those tough losses into wins. And one of the concerns I had, and it happened Friday night up at the North Center at Lake State. We fell behind by a couple goals again early, and we've been falling behind early and then having to spend the rest of the game trying to catch up. And, like any team, we're better if we score first, or, certainly don't fall behind by multiple goals, 2 or 3, because that becomes a very difficult mountain to climb.
Of course, Tyler Schleppe scored his first 3 goals. Great weekend for him, but also for Max Itagaki. Got his first goal as a Bulldog and with 2 goals on the weekend. Those 2 guys really provided a big spark offensively for you.
Boy, did they ever. It's good to see Max score. I know he's a setup guy, but he's got the skills to score goals, and I'd like to see him be a little more selfish out there and try to score. Tyler, it's great to see him showing back up on the score sheet. He has the ability, I think, to be a big scorer at this level, and half of it is him believing in himself, and he seems like a new player. Like he played, I think, 4 games, got hurt in that 4th game, so he played 3 games and change. But then when he came back from injury, he really looked good, and I know he played. I think it was the 1 game on Saturday night against Bowling Green, and that was his best game to date. And then he followed that up with 2 really good games on the weekend, and I think the sky's the limit for Tyler.
You mentioned that Augustana comes to Big Rapids this weekend. That's what you guys are focused on right now. Of course, the first time that they'll be in the Aveglaven Ice Arena. Just talk about some things that they do well and what you're going to try to have to counter that they do this weekend.
Well, one of the things I was impressed with watching them is their line rushes. We've seen a lot of teams that have good transitional line rush games, but are more half court games, if you will. That's kind of where a lot of things have morphed to. Where it's, the ground game, if you will. You get in the offensive zone, you grind it out. This team's more, not that they can't do that, but they're really good off the rush. They transition quickly, and that'll give us problems. So we're going to have to be on top of our game. Means we've got to take care of the puck, can't turn it over in bad areas at the offensive blue, for instance. And we've always got to have a forward back. We've got to make sure we come back hard into our zone and then start making sure we pick the right guys up as we enter back into our own end of the rink.